determine when I will have the hearing, the two awards and the indemnity. It shall be a separate hearing relating to Ms. Lombard and her legal representative, because I want to hear all.
Congolese political analyst Didier Bayeye has questioned the manner in which former President Joseph Kabila returned to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Kabila is in the rebel-held eastern city of Goma for talks with locals. If confirmed, his visit could complicate the U.S.-backed efforts to end the rebellion by the M23 rebels armed group, which controls mineral-rich areas from the Trump administration is eager to develop. Bayeye explains.
The main issue here, or the main question, is not the return of the former President Joseph Kabila to the DRC, but how he returned to the DRC and then from where he has entered. Now, before we even get there or analyze that, when he left, why he's come back, he's making headline. Was he a refugee? Was he an escapee? Or he was just a normal person that left his country for a reason well known to himself? That is where the question is.
And lastly, Israel has announced the creation of 22 new settlements in the occupied West Bank. The move is part of a joint initiative by the Defense Minister Israel Katz and the Far Right's Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. The BBC's Yolanda now.
The Israeli government is believed to have approved this decision 2 weeks ago, but details have only just come to light. Reports say some new settlements will be in remote parts of the West Bank. All settlements are seen as illegal under international law, although Israel disputes it. This step is a blow to renewed international efforts to revive momentum on a two-state solution to the decades-old Israel-Palestinian conflict, with a French-Saudi summit planned next month. Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz said it was a strategic move that prevents the establishment of a Palestinian state that would endanger Israel.
For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Nzinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
It is 6 minutes after 1 Central African time. Hello. And a very warm welcome to you to the Upside with me, Nompumelelo, Ngubeni and Tebogo Lekhuleni. Hello, Tebogo Lekhuleni.
Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
Good.
Loving your outfit, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Who are you wearing?
It is a Thursday. I'm not answering that.
Oh, you must answer. You know there are people who are watching us.
You remember, I can't give any advertising.
Wow.
You want to get me into trouble.
So they must get in touch with you directly.
That's right. On my social media platforms, @_N Ngubeni on TikTok, I believe.
Yes. You even remembered.
And I think so.
I'm so
is that
proud
right?
of you.
I don't know. I don't know if that's right.
No, that is correct.
_Nompumelelo Ngubeni on Instagram, @just Nompumelelo Ngubeni on Facebook, and @Nompumelelo Ngubeni on X.
It is _N Ngubeni.
Yeah, that's right.
On TikTok. You remembered.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
We've been busy. We've been cooking.
And you've been posting the content. I see here you've got your latest one, which you did for our shoot, when we had our shoot. Remember our shoot? Our Channel Africa's shoot. It's sitting at well over 14,000 views now.
It's incredible.
That is exciting.
Incredible. I didn't think that number of people would care.
I am so proud. Let's talk about the show and what's coming up this afternoon.
Sure. I mean, it's the story that is dominating headlines here in South Africa, currently all over our screens. In the newsroom, I was seeing they have 2 different channels on, SABC News, as well as another news channel, and all they are showing is the memorial service of Olerato Mongale. And you may remember, I think it was on Tuesday when in What Caught My Eye, I spoke about her having gone on a blind date.
Yes.
And that day she was later found dead.
Yeah.
A man has been arrested subsequent to that killing.
Is this the John?
This is the... we don't know actually who John is. Remember one of the gentlemen, it's believed that 4 men are actually involved in this crime. Yeah. And we don't know who was using the pseudonym John, and that person would be the one who would have lured her on this date. A memorial service is currently underway, but we're going to be speaking to Tebogo Molapo, founder of Rebasadi, and as well as Ntlantla Mnina, and just speaking about her, Olerato. And what women this organization is doing about GBV.
Because I mean, I was sharing this with Lulu earlier that Olerato had dreams, she had plans, she wanted to live a life. We don't really know much about her.
Well, there's lots now that's come out about her.
Lots that's coming out now, and even better to have a conversation with people who actually got to interact with her and got to learn a bit about her story. And then later on, we are joined by Siyabonga Mtshali, the visionary behind Siyababa Atelier. His latest collection, Siyazila, meaning we are grieving, right?
Is that what Siyazila means?
Is a powerful tribute to his late sister and a bold reimagination of black queer identity through fashion, art, music, and film.
It's incredible to me how Siyabonga has taken such a somber and sad topic, right? And created in mediums that are celebratory. So just to see the interpretation of his work into the various mediums, fashion as well as art, for me is interesting. And speaking about Atelier, we're going to be in the last hour of the show speaking about APSA's L'Atelier 2025. This is a yearly competition that APSA holds for artists across the continent, and entries do close tomorrow, I believe. It is tomorrow for entrance. So these are individuals between the ages of 21 and 40 from 12 African countries, whom they're calling on to submit their entries.
Also, for those who are hearing Atelier for the first time, what does Atelier mean? Do you know what it means?
No, I don't.
It basically just means workshop.
Okay.
Workshop or, just workshop.
Okay.
And I didn't know this until today. I was like, what is this Atelier?
Yeah, because everybody's artillerying.
Artillery. That's all coming up on the Upside. It's now 11 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Upside.
Broadcasting in 5 different languages, connecting the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. Pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique? Chers artistes, N'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Mara ya kwanza kabisa uliingia studio ulikuwa ni mwaka gani?
Nakumbuka mara kwanza nimeingia studio hapa South Africa.
Vizuri sana.
Ilikuwa ni mwaka wa 2016-17 kama sisahau.
Swali kidogo la kizushi hivi hapo Durban watu wanafahamu kama wewe ni mwanamuziki?
Hapa Durban watu wengi wananifahamu kwamba mimi ni msanii ambaye anafanya vyema kwenye mambo ya muziki.
Okay, vizuri sana. Hongera sana kwa hilo. Naam, tuzungumzie sasa albamu yako ambayo unapanga kuitoa hivi karibuni. Albamu unatoa lini?
Albamu itakuwa available, itakuwa tayari next week Saturday, itakuwa tayari.
Albamu inaenda na ngoma ngapi?
Albamu inaenda na muziki 17.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and Tebogo. Bringing you Africa's brightest ideas and untold stories.
It's Chris with the drama boy.
Kutoka Manzabe picha twazi twanga kisera posti insta wanga kwa kera baada ya chali kimoko. Cause I just wanna let them know I'm African beauty. African beauty. You're my African beauty. You're my African beauty. Kutoka Mazabe picha twaze twanga kisera posti insta wanga kwa kera atacha vikemoko. Cause I just wanna let you know African beauty. African beauty. You're my African beauty. You're my African beauty. African beauty. Oh, love is what I see when I look into your eyes. Tiny cute go waga navona. And you know I deserve to be the one that takes you high. Timwili chumali kila kona. Benzi tali pamba ngojera. Uba kama tanga segera. Kwa vino vya paikoko. Kutoka Manzabe picha twazi twanga kisera posti insta wanga kwa kera.
4 Live and Real with Tebogo and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business. 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa. And find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Dika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some
One Central African Time, African Beauty by Diamond Platinums. They're featuring Omarion. And we are getting into our very first conversation of the show, reflecting on just the person of Olorato Mongale, right? She is a 30-year-old woman, and she is currently being remembered in a memorial service by her loved ones, her colleagues and friends. And she has been spoken about so fondly during the memorial service, being remembered as a person who has a warm smile, an outspoken voice for sure, and a firm stance on women's empowerment. She attended a retreat with Ribasadi, an organization that uplifts female entrepreneurs. And her life was cut short at the weekend in a tragedy that has sent shock waves throughout Johannesburg and beyond. And this is after she was murdered near Lombardy West after having gone on a date, a blind date, seemingly. And she just never made it back home. The VW Polo in which the alleged perpetrators were traveling in has since been found, and one person has been arrested as well. We are joined on the line by the co-founders of this Ribasadi retreat, and that is Tebatso Molapo as well as Ntlantla Mnina. Tebatso, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.
We're going to start with Nontlantla.
We're going to start with Nontlantla. Good afternoon, Nontlantla.
Hi, how are you?
Well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I can imagine that under the circumstances.
Yeah, no, it's been a surreal couple of days, but what can we say?
So firstly, Nontlantla, we have to say that from the upside, we do commiserate with you, as well as Olorato's family members and friends, loved ones, everybody who has come across her. And I think South Africa at large, because South Africans have been rather touched by this incident. But tell us about how you know Olerato and, what you remember of her.
Okay, so I met Olerato through Ribasadi, and I think Tebatso will speak a lot more onto Ribasadi and what it's all about. So she decided to start hosting retreats, and that's where I met Olerato. And you know what? I am so glad that I decided to take the chance of meeting 15 random strangers and just embracing sisterhood. One thing about Olerato, she was such a girl's girl, and she was very big on sisterhood, showing up for each other and just being there for one another. She's all about creating safe space for women because she believed that there was a softness to women that still needed to be protected. There was a post that she posted a while ago, and it haunts me today. She posted questioning the notion of what tindumfazi, what tindimbogot. You strike a woman, you strike a rock. She reminded us that women aren't rocks. Women are soft.
Anything but.
Women are delicate. Women should be nurtured. Yes, they are powerful, but should never be treated like rocks. And she spoke about how this softness needed so much protection. It really, really breaks my heart that a woman that poured so much is not here today, all because we still don't know how to protect women in South Africa. So I could speak the whole day of Olerato and how great she was, because she really, really was a gift from above. So much love, so much kindness. I think anyone that had an interaction with Olerato will tell you of how seen and how heard they felt by her.
And it's an important conversation to be having, Nonhlanhla, that you shine a light on who Olerato was. And because right now we have a specific story that we all have seen and have experienced, but we want to know who Olerato really was. What dreams did she have as we remember her today? It's 22 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. This is The Upside. If you have any questions, if you want to send through your condolences to the family, +27 63406 9126.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet.
Channel 802.
Africa at Play with Neto, N-E-T-O, Chairman.
The Confederation of African Athletics, CAA President Mr. Hamad Kalkaba Malboum, talk to us about the state of athletics in Africa as it stands, and what picture are you looking at 5 years later?
Yeah, athletics in Africa is strong. We are able to organize our major events in time. Like this year, we will have the under-20 and under-18 African Championship in Nigeria. Next year, we will have the senior in Ghana. In 2027, we will go back to Algeria to organize the under-18 and under-20. And then 2028, we will have the senior championship in Gaborone in Botswana. Well, by this program, we can increase our performance. And at the same time, we are considering the fact that within the British Federation, they are identifying young talent every year within the national program, within the scholarship championship. And so the athletics in Africa is in good standard.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African time. We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are The Upside.
It is 24 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Today we honor the life of Olerato Mongali, a 30-year-old woman known for her warmth, her voice, and her passion for uplifting other women. And she was a vibrant part of the Ribasadi network of female entrepreneurs. And recently we found out that her life was cut short in a very senseless act of violence that has left Johannesburg and the world at large reeling. We're joined on the line by Nonhlanhla, who's part of the Ribasadi network and who was able to have conversations and has met Olerato before. Nonhlanhla, when you found out, when you heard the news, what were you doing at the time and what went through your mind when you heard it?
Disbelief, right? Olerato is one of those that, nobody deserves it, but in my mind, I'm like, it cannot be Olerato. She is one of the most cautious people that I know. Always, Noni, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'll let you know when I get back. Or she always communicated. It was just shocking. I think I took a while to just look at the poster and just, zoom in. Is this really Olerato? And, I then started calling her just to check, what's going on, because we had actually spoken earlier. So I was just a bit confused as to, what happened. Tried calling her, grew very concerned because I think I called her throughout the evening and she just didn't pick up. And then eventually I just decided, let me call somebody from the poster. I called her mother and I think she was just occupied, so I called a different number and that went through, and I was hoping they're going to tell me, no, she's been found, but unfortunately she confirmed that, we had just gone to the morgue and it is Olerato. To say I was shattered is an understatement. I think, we always see and hear about these things. And in as much as it's a reality, it feels so much more different when it happens so close to home.
Yeah. I can tell the emotion in your voice, Nonhlanhla. You speak about her taking precaution, and I know Tebogo has joined us now on the line, and we're going to be speaking to her about the organization Ribasadi that you co-founded with her. But speak to us about those precautionary measures that she adhered to. It has been reported that she was communicating with a close friend throughout, sending her location and saying her last essentially message was that if I do not get in touch with you in an hour, you must know that something has gone wrong, or check up on me. How important is it for women to put in place these kind of security measures for themselves, and are they at all effective?
Look, I think we can see now more than ever how important it is. We always just spoke about, add me on Find My Phone, and it was just something that you did because maybe one day you're gonna need to find your phone or something along those lines. Never I would go missing, you'd need to come hunt for me. I think to show just how organized and how well planned she had thought about everything. I mean, 30 minutes, it's sad that she thought she would need to send out, alerts or notifications every 30 minutes, but I think she taught us something very valuable to communicate, not just to one person, but let people know where you are, what you're doing, and who you're with. I mean, looking at the turnaround of just how fast they were able to locate her items, and just to figure out where she was, because I don't think she, would have been able to have been found as quickly as she did. It's so painful that everything happened so quickly and we were hoping for better outcomes, but I think it is a blessing that, she had those precautions in place and was able to be found, because God forbid she didn't have those locations and we only figured out on Monday morning that she's missing, and it's just a whole mission trying to get her.
Well, we'll continue honoring the life of Olerato Mongale. We are currently in conversation with Nonhlanhla Mgcina, a friend of Olerato, and Tibatso Molapo's founder of Ribasadi. We'll have a conversation with her in a few minutes' time just to find out what the network is all about, how she met Olerato, and the work that they are doing as Ribasadi. For now, though, it's 30 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Let's get your sports news.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
And a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Musibudi Makura with your latest sports news at the hour. We'll start here. Enzo Maresca says Cole Palmer's lean streak has made him a better player after the playmaker's sensational performance inspired Chelsea's Conference League comeback win last night. The Blues claimed their first silverware in 3 years after defeating Real Betis 4-1 in Poland in what was a far more competitive contest than that scoreline suggested. After a superb breakthrough season last term and a strong start to this campaign, Palmer's form tallied off badly after Christmas. His late penalty in a 3-1 win against Liverpool earlier this month ended a 17-game goal drought, but he remains his only striker since mid-July. This is what Maresca had to say about the influence of Cole Palmer.
The bad moment or the bad run he had during this season is going to make him a better player, no doubt. We all know that he's a top player. We need to help him to be in the right position, in the right moment. And then he's quality player. In the last third, he can decide games with goal or with assist. And as you said, the two assists, they have been both very, very nice.
Now, Maresca also said Chelsea can use winning the UEFA Conference League as a springboard for future success.
Hopefully it can be a starting point. To build a winner mentality, you need to win games, you need to win competition. And for sure, the trophy we won tonight is going to make us better. But also, I'm very proud about the path or the journey we have done in the Premier League. That for me is the most difficult competition in the world. You have to be consistent. It's 38 games, and this player they show during this. That's why after Nottingham Forest, my outburst was a little bit.
Meanwhile, police arrested 28 fans in the Polish city of Wrocław after clashes between Chelsea as well as Real Betis fans before the UEFA Conference League final. Now, hundreds of fans clashed in the Wrocław Market Square on Wednesday afternoon, but police quickly intervened. It had initially been reported that a water cannon was used, but Wrocław City Hall has confirmed it was on standby as a precautionary measure. But the situation did not escalate to a level that required their deployment. The local authority said order has since been maintained and was maintained across the city, and the match at the Stadion Wrocław reached a capacity of 41,000 people with no fewer further disturbances reported, while 5,500 people watched in the fan zone in the city. An estimate of 70,000 fans arrived in the city in the southwest of Poland for the final, a number that covers ticket holders as well as those attending fan zones and other events around the city. In tennis news now, Norway's Casper Ruud has criticized the ATP ranking system by describing it like a rat race which forces players to compete with injuries. Ruud, a two-time runner-up at the French Open, suffered a second-round exit on Wednesday, losing 2-6, 6-4, 6-1 and 6-love to Portugal's Nuno Borges. Now, the seventh seed won the first set comfortably, but then struggled towards the end of the match with a knee injury that he has been carrying since April. Now, Ruud said it is difficult to take time off on the ATP tour to allow for injuries to heal. The ATP as well as the Women's WTA tour have mandatory requirements, meaning that players must appear at a set number of tournaments each season. The top-ranked ATP players are required to participate in 8 of the 9 mandatory Masters 1000 events each year, with Monte Carlo the only exception. Ruud missed Monte Carlo, the first big clay court event of the season, but he played at the Italian Open in Rome after winning his first ATP Masters title in Madrid also this year. And finally, in case you missed it, Charlie Woods has won his first American Junior Golf Association event to follow in his father's Tiger Woods' footsteps. Now, the 16-year-old American claimed a 3-shot victory at the Team Tyler Made Invitational in Bowling Green, Florida on Wednesday. So Tiger Woods played in 13 AJGA tournaments from 1991 to 1993, winning 8, the joint highest behind Phil Mickelson. In his fifth event on the AJGA tournament, Charlie began the final round 1 shot behind overnight leader Luke Colton, ranked 606th by the Junior Association of America. The teenager mixed 2 bogeys with 8 birdies for a 6-under par 66 on the Black Horse at Streamsong Resort, which also saw him top the leaderboard at 15 under par. Before this week, the young Woods' best result on the junior circuit was a share of 25th place at the Junior Invitational at Sage Valley in March of this year. And that's a wrap from the Sports Desk at the Sawa. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, our email address is newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Hey guys, question. Have you thought about what happens between 9 o'clock until midday, Saturday and Sunday? Well, it's me. Those that know me call me the fun police, and I'm that girl, that voice on your radio. My name is Ngubeni. I'm all about the finer things in life. Where to go, what to wear, who to see, and ultimately what to do. We aspire to bring you the best in travel, entertainment, with a dash or maybe a dose of laughter. And then, of course, we switch things up a bit when we look at technology. I love what's happening with AI because you blink, something new pops up. So the challenge is constantly there. I'm learning every single time on the show. So catch me every single Saturday and Sunday at 9 a.m. until 12 midday Central African Time, Baba.
The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters.
It is 37 minutes after 1 Central African time. Thank you, Musibudi. But we head now to all things econ, business news. I wonder if it's not out yet, that repo rate announcement. Is it Bontle Headbush?
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Good afternoon, and no, that repo rate decision is not out yet. The South African Reserve Bank is announcing the latest decision on the repo rate this afternoon. With inflation currently at a subdued 2.7%, some economists are calling for a rate cut to stimulate growth. However, others caution that the global economic uncertainties and structural challenges may justify maintaining the current rate. Head economist at KPMG South Africa, Frank Blackmore, explains some of the factors that the bank may take into consideration when making its decision.
There are upside risks, as you said, the geopolitics. Will the US put trade tariffs on us? We might get sanctioned. The rand might lose some value. And all of that needs to be taken into account when setting interest rates, which just might mean that we continue to pause on those interest rate changes for the next, at least until the next meeting, when more clarity may be available.
South African Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says that Africa must find different ways of becoming self-sufficient amid an unstable geopolitical environment. He spoke to SABC News on the margins of the African Development Bank Group's annual meeting in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. The meeting comes as a trade war intensifies, affecting a number of countries. Godongwana elaborates.
One of the other challenges Africa is facing now, overseas development assistance is declining completely, and also the various trade challenges that are emerging as a result of the American position. So what that means is that Africa has got to look at being self-sufficient, and we need institutions to be able to fund our own development as Africa. And therefore, this institution, amongst others, it has got to work with national development agencies and so on to attack the level of poverty and infrastructure deficiencies in our economy.
Godongwana, meanwhile, remains optimistic that South Africa's presidential candidate at the African Development Bank Group, Bajabulile Swazi Tshabalala, will do exceptionally well. Tshabalala will be up against 4 other candidates who want to head the continental institution. Godongwana says the African Development Bank is facing a massive responsibility.
The campaign is going very well. As all other campaigns, you may think we are doing well, only to find that things are bad. But as things stand, we think our campaign is working well. I can tell you, if my predictions are correct, there will be an elimination process. I think she's probably going to be amongst the 2 that are going to be finishing.
French oil major Total Energies says it has agreed to sell its 12.5% stake in the Bonga oil field offshore Nigeria to Shell, which is currently operating the field, for $510 million. The deal will increase Shell's ownership in the Bonga oil field to 67.5%. The transaction remains subject to regulatory approvals, but is expected to be concluded the year end. Oil prices rose by $1 a barrel after a U.S. court blocked most of President Donald Trump's tariffs, while the market was watching out for potential new U.S. sanctions curbing Russian crude flows and an OPEC Plus decision on hiking output in July. Brent crude futures climbed $1.03 or 1.6% to $65.93 a barrel. Yesterday, a U.S. trade court ruled that Trump overstepped his authority by imposing across-the-board duties on imports from U.S. trading partners. Now, taking a look at our indicators this afternoon, $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 585. In Botswana, it's at 13 pula 28. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 41, and in Zambia, it's at 26 kwacha 71. Moving along to the BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 66, Russia 79 rubles 90, India 85 rupees 42, China 71 19, and South Africa $1 is trading at 17 rand 92 cents. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 88 cents to the euro. Looking at commodities now, gold is trading at $3,273 and platinum at $1,077 per ounce this afternoon, while Brent crude oil is at $65.70 a barrel. And those are your business news at this hour. For any business news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Bontle Hedbush.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Big news from Channel Africa. Now you can listen and watch your favorite shows on Channel Africa. Channel Africa is streaming live on the internet on all our social media pages at Channel Africa 1 from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. Central African Time. Download the SABC Plus app or visit our website www.channelafrica.co.za and stream us live on all our social media pages at Channel Africa 1. Channel Africa now streaming for your eyes and ears only. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Join Tebogo and Nompumelelo on the upside, where optimism meets opportunity.
16 minutes before 2 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome back to The Upside, Thursday edition of the show. We are broadcasting live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg, South Africa. Tune in and stream us live on our social media platform at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag The Upside. We continue our conversation, remembering, honoring Olerato Mongale. And earlier we were having a conversation with a very close friend, Unonhlanhla Mcina, and now we want to have a conversation with Tibatso Molapo, founder of Ribasadi. It's a network of female entrepreneurs, and I understand that Olerato played a massive role in contributing to this network. She was passionate about women, and especially women in entrepreneurial spaces. To tell us more about Olerato and also Ribasadi Network, we are joined by Tibatso. Tibatso, thank you so much for your time and welcome to The Upside.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's quite an honor to be able to come here and talk about the beautiful legacy of Olerato.
And condolences to you and the family of Olerato. Take us through your first memories of Olerato when she signed up. I'm guessing you met her through the Ribasadi network. What are some memories that you can share with us of Olerato?
So I actually met Olerato in university. So I went to Rose University, yes. So that was 10 years ago. And so my major was in the Bachelor of Journalism. And one of my electives was French. And so anybody that knows me, I do talk a lot, but anybody that knows me, that I'm quite shy when I enter new spaces. I don't share a lot, like I'm a very quiet person, but once I start talking, I also don't stop. And I remember walking into the French class and Olerato was sitting there and I was just drawn to her. She just had this energy that will just draws you in. And I'm this young girl from Limpopo, Mpumalanga. Rhodes is quite a diverse university. And I remember we're doing an oral exam. that week or around that time. And we're just talking and just telling me how I'm going to do great. And that's my initial and my very initial memory of Olerato. So we reconnected again on social media. So I left Rhodes. I was only at Rhodes for a year. Then I moved to Johannesburg, and obviously we reconnected. So I love women. I love the work that women do. I love women that are vocal. I've always been very vocal about issues about women in my early 20s. And obviously then as you evolve in your womanhood, then I guess my purpose evolved with me. And so our first stance with Rabasadi was looking at bringing women together to discuss how to be better in business, to be innovative, and to kind of just draw ourselves and be better and greater in business. But as I evolved, I also realized that there's a need not only for women in business, but just for women. Women need community. Women need a space where they don't have to fight. We really don't always have to be fighting, but we just embrace each other and love each other. So I remember when I posted about the first retreat, and Olerato sent me a very beautiful voice note encouraging me and telling me that it's such a beautiful concept and I should definitely not do it. And that's when we reconnected last year. And yeah, we've just been growing in friendship, in community, and in love as friends.
Tebogo, you speak about Olerato as a lover of women and the work that women do. I understand that she, because of her closeness to the cause of women and the beauty of and in women, she veered off or changed the trajectory of her career from journalism, practicing in journalism, because she really could no longer stomach reporting on issues such as gender-based violence. Do you know that story or that aspect of her life closely that you can just bring us light to?
So no, I don't know that side. Sure. So what we do at Vasadi, even Nontlantla will tell you, it's very rare that you'll find us talking about our careers. We talk about our aspirations, what we want to be in the world. So one of the conversations I remember that we had at the retreat is us basically talking about how we're going to raise our kids, and we're going to get a farm, and the kids will be playing. And because I've got two kids, I've got two very busy kids, and she's like, oh yeah, you'll take care of the kids because you're experienced in that department. So you would barely ever find a woman talking about careers. We will talk about things that we want to engage in terms of rest and leisure. She'll tell us about her traveling, meeting women on some of the trips that she's been on. And yeah, so it was very rare that you would find us talking about work and anything career related, so.
And how important, Tebogo, are such initiatives? The retreats that you have, Ribasadi Network, how important is this community in light of what has happened, but also in a way to foster a growing community of women supporting one another in every aspect of life, not just in business? How important are such initiatives like the one that you are running right now?
So if you follow closely, I think I've also just been following closely, trying to understand what people are saying. You also see that Olerato was very active in different communities of her friendships. And so what we really want to promote is to say, as a woman, having community can save you so much, and not just in terms of this conversation, but we deal with so much as women in our personal lives, work, and just being on a call with a friend can actually save you, can help you leave a relationship. It can help you. It can help you get. I didn't want to get out of a bed this morning, and I was on a call with a friend, and we just spoke, and it kind of like just pushed me to say, okay, let me just get up and go about my day, So a thing that I like to say is that when women come in love, that's when we really empower each other, and I think if there's a woman listening, if you have been one of those people like, oh, I don't really want to have friendships, it's something that should be intentional. We should be really intentional about loving each other and kind of like just trying to form deeper relationships with each other, because there's only so much on the surface. But if we really start talking about our issues, I mean, in the past couple of years, I'm also nearly 30, but there have been situations that my friends have gotten me out of simply because we relate to each other on that level. And they've been able to guide me through their stories. And I've also been able to guide them through my stories. So, yeah.
Tell us about the retreats. What are they about? And Rivasadi, I suppose, as an organization, what you do, how people can get in touch with you if they require your services, or that community.
So what the retreats aim to do is just to bring women together so that they can build friendships. So like Nonhlanhla said, I've known Nonhlanhla. We met in grade 1. Yeah, so I've known Nonhlanhla since I was 7 years old. And we also reconnected through the retreats. So even the women that came last year, it was women that I have worked with in the past 10 years. So they'll be at one or two of my events. And yeah, so they came, we were together for an entire weekend. And from there were friendships that blossomed. So because when you are on the organizing front, it's not always easy to be like, sit down and chat. But I think my goal is to be a network where women can find each other, and find the right people for themselves. So they'll travel together. I think so. They travel together, and obviously when they're traveling together, they get to know each other, and one or two relate, and then there's friendship that blossoms just from that. And for me, that has always been my goal, to say, I don't have to be friends with everybody. I can know, but I can bring the right people to them. And also in that community as well, then I'm also able to build my own friendships with these amazing women. So we do host a retreats twice a year, and it's just so that we get away from all our other responsibilities and just be girls. That's how we like to call it. We say we just want
girls.
We can just be, so we can just be girls. And Olerato was a huge part of. She says that I remember so vividly. There was the first night when we met last year when we had our first retreat, and she was we're just having conversations. So we're having conversations about loss when you miscarry. So sorry, but when you miscarry, and the women were having like a conversation, and she would urge the ladies to talk because she understands that conversation is very healing. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is getting a little bit deep. Let's not, But it was just it's just so beautiful how much healing happens in conversation, and obviously not to draw it to hear or saying you have to come to the retreats or come to the retreat, but creating your own community. For me, I think that's my biggest takeaway or message to women, to say create communities, even in the communities that you are in, or find women that you resonate with and create connections at not just surface level, but deeper than the weather. Yeah.
Sure.
Nonhlanhla, as a close friend of Olerato, how do you think she would want to be remembered?
She would want to be remembered for her love. She would want to be remembered for how boldly and how loudly she lived. Olerato lived with her chest. She said what she said, and she stood for what she believed in, and always encouraged us to go for what we wanted. And she would always say to me, Dwana, if you fail, you fail. It's a lesson learned. So really, it's loving boldly, living intentionally, and going for everything and anything that she wanted. I mean, Olerato decided, imagine at 30, I'm going to go back to school. How bold and how brave is that?
It's incredible. Ladies, both Nontlantla and you, Tebogo, thank you so much for your boldness today in coming here and speaking about a friend, someone you hold so dear to your hearts, and sharing her a little bit with us, giving us a glimpse of who she was. We really do appreciate it, and our hearts do go out to you. May you be comforted.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Those are the voices of Tebogo Molapo, founder of Ribasadi, and as well as close friend to Olerato Mongali, as well as Nontlantla Mncina, who's also co-founder of Ribasadi and close friend to Olerato. What a beautiful life lived, eh?
It's always so beautiful. It's always beautiful when we're talking about the lights that people shone in their lives. Can we also do that when they're alive? Can we also share and celebrate,
edify
what incredible human beings they are? Let's not do this in hindsight. Let them be able to hear how amazing they have been to us and what a change they have brought to our lives.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, it's less than 2 minutes before 2 p.m. Central African time. If you want to see this incredible outfit that Nompumelelo has on today, she's been killing it this week. I tell you what, if we were to do a runway, is it a runway? If we were to do a runway for just this week, you would win all the categories. Are there categories in... Anyway, you would win.
Thanks,
plus 276340699126 is the WhatsApp line. But stream us on social media at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook to see the incredible outfits that she has on a daily.
Okay, let's head on over to...
You don't do well with compliments, do you?
No, it depends. No, I do actually. I think I do well.
Our producer say no, she doesn't. Ma'am, you look incredible, and you have been killing it this week.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is now 2 p.m. Central African time. Onele has your news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. Looking at your top stories, ECOWAS commemorates the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the regional body, and Israel announces the creation of 22 new settlements in the occupied West Bank. Your latest news, greetings to our listeners. The economic community of West African states faces a growing threat of terrorism, climate change, military coups, and poverty. Jihadist violence has surged this year in Nigeria and the Sahel region, including Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, which are nations that have withdrawn from the ECOWAS in protest over sanctions following military coups. Leaders and representatives from ECOWAS are meeting in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. The summit aims to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the regional body. President of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Touare, explains.
We have demonstrated to the world that the African solution actually works. With the same spirit of solidarity and collective self-reliance, we are confronting the gravest challenges we face today: terrorism, climate change, unconstitutional change of government, poverty, and economic disparities. With our strong collective will, I have no doubt that we shall overcome these challenges. Our strength lies in our unity, in our shared identity, and in the spirit of solidarity that defines our union.
Senegal has initiated a symbolic national dialogue which has brought together nearly 800 participants from various horizons in a climate that's marked by persistent political tension. This framework of consultation under the leadership of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye aims to explore options to set up the democratic foundation of the country, emphasizing reconciliation and national unity. Senegalese reporter Amadou Kamaragwe explains.
And many questions will be raised about how to reform the political system in Senegal, political parties, electoral vote, and also how to imply other political figure, meaning the opposition, and also influential figure in order to ease the political and the social context, which is very tense in Senegal. Since Diomaye and Sonko have taken the power, and Senegalese people start worrying, and people need to discuss as our tradition, meaning the dialogue, in order to ease the political and the social context, which is very tense.
Family members of the South African National Defence Force soldiers who perished during various missions became emotional during the wreath-laying ceremony. The SANDF is commemorating the International Peacekeeping Day in Bloemfontein in the Free State Province in honor of the fallen heroes and heroines. Boniwe Mobe says it has not been easy living without her husband.
It's very tough, honestly, especially for me and our kid. But we have all the support we need from the defense. So there are social workers, chaplains, calling, psychologists. So we are sorted on that one.
The 3 people convicted in the disappearance case of Jocelyn Smith have been sentenced to life imprisonment for human trafficking and 10 years for kidnapping in South Africa. The sentences of the girl's mother, Kelly Smith, Jacqueline Apollos and Stevino van Ryan will run concurrently. The girl disappeared from her home in the Middlesbos informal settlement in Saldanha Bay in February last year. This is how Judge Nathan Erasmus handed down her sentence.
Subject to the evidence that's going to be presented on sentence, I will then determine when I will have the hearing, the 2 forms and the indemnity, which will be a separate hearing relating to Ms. Lombard and her legal representative, because I want to hear all.
Lastly, Israel has announced the creation of 22 new settlements in the occupied West Bank. The move is part of a joint initiative by the Defense Minister Israel Katz and the far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. The BBC's Yolanda Nell.
The Israeli government is believed to have approved this decision 2 weeks ago, but details have only just come to light. Reports say some new settlements will be in remote parts of the West Bank. All settlements are seen as illegal under international law, although Israel disputes it. This step is a blow to renewed international efforts to revive momentum on a 2-state solution to the decades-old Israel-Palestinian conflict, with a French-Saudi summit planned next month. Israel's defense minister Israel Katz said it was a strategic move that prevents the establishment of a Palestinian state that would endanger Israel.
Recapping on your top stories, the economic community of West African states faces growing threats of terrorism, climate change, military coups and poverty. Leaders and representatives from ECOWAS are meeting in Nigeria, Lagos to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the regional body. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Nzinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Boom, 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 boom.
There we go. Sure. You're like the, when DJs reduce the tempo. Yeah, you on, I don't know how many decibels, but it's sure.
Welcome to the second hour of The Upside with Nompumelelo, Ngubeni and Tebogo, Lekhuleni. We'll be with you all the way to 4 p.m. Central African Time. Stream us live on our social media platform on Facebook at Channel Africa, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Channel Africa 1, and use the hashtag The Upside. In this hour, we get into conversation with Siyabonga Mtshali, the visionary behind Siyababa. We are hot. We are hot atelier.
We are hot. Yes, Siyababa is, we are hot in isiZulu, yeah?
We are hot. We are hot. We're on fire. His latest collection, Siyazila, meaning we are grieving, is a powerful tribute to his late sister and a bold reimagining of black queer identity through fashion, art, music, and film. We'll find out more about this collection in a few minutes' time. Sticking to that conversation of DJs reducing the volume.
The tempo,
the tempo,
the speed.
The speed. Why is it that DJs speak on top of a song while it's playing?
You don't think it's cool?
So a song is playing. Like Monty, can you do me a favor? Let's the volume up on this one, right? The volume is up.
I know you've always wanted to do this, by the way.
They let
this
it
is
play.
Your dream DJ job.
This is The Upside with Tebogo, Lekhuleni and Nompumelelo, Ngubeni. Welcome to it. Thursday edition. All right. My thing is, why do they do that?
I know you have always wanted to do that because you listen to the radio when they do that and you think,
I get annoyed sometimes. No, I get annoyed sometimes, especially when it's a song that I absolutely love. Don't interrupt my song.
Yes,
Don't interrupt. And then they get to that, the chorus, and then he wants to say, hey, you're tuned into Channel Africa.
I must agree with you. When it comes to a song that is like your fave, and in fact, it happens when just at the peak of the song. At the crescendo.
That's what I'm saying. Someone said that the reason they do that is to prevent piracy. So that for people who are listening,
back then,
they can't record the full song and then redistribute it illegally. So that's why DJs will often come in, especially there at the crescendo. Like, hey, welcome to it.
But back then, right now, you can kind of get access music anywhere.
You can access music anywhere now. Times have changed. Yeah. But that's why, if you didn't know, now you know. It's 10 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time. This is The Upside.
Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Your afternoons just got even better, fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from an African perspective. The hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than sharp analysis and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique, with Joël Moteba. We go to Eastern Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to Eastern Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising.
Now 15 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African time. Welcome back to the Upside on Channel Africa, the African perspective, with me, Tebogo Lekhuleni, and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. It's Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
It is 60 minutes past. Yes.
We were listening to Somi So by What a Call.
Why did they call? Is that the name of the song?
No, What a Call.
Oh, What a Call.
What a Call. What a Call is a surname.
All right, let's get into our conversation. Meet Siyabonga Mtshali, the creative force behind Siyababa Atelier. A designer using fashion not just to clothe bodies, but to tell untold stories. Born in KwaZulu-Natal, Mtshali is challenging how we see black queer identity, masculinity, and grief through his work. I think you said it earlier, that he's not making it a sad thing, a somber experience, but he's celebrating. He's celebrating life, and it's a beautiful thing. His latest collection, Siyazila, for those who don't know what it means we are grieving, is a moving tribute to his late sister, Nompumelelo. But it's more than a fashion line. It's a multidisciplinary experience blending visual art, music, and film. And Siyabonga will be joining us on the line to tell us more about this collection. Have you seen any Siyabonga collections?
I have. Stunning work. Stunning work. That's all I'm going to say. I think a little bit hip for you.
Oh.
Like, because you're not a, you know what I mean? You're not out there.
I love how you've sussed me out.
Are you out there in terms of your fashion and your,
100%.
I mean, from what I've observed in the past couple of months, you know, you keep it quite
and it's actually been
simple.
It's been months, hasn't it? It's our second month together.
It has it, yeah. No, yeah, March, April, May. A month and a bit.
And you've seen enough to say, okay, cool. Debza is not the one
Look,
to
I
be
may be wrong,
perhaps, and color.
I may be wrong. Hence, I asked. It wasn't a complete and conclusive statement.
I really am not, but I'm open to it.
Okay.
I'm open to trying out new
things.
Swayed, you know, different experiences. Right now, I'm trying out the hair situation.
Yeah, it's a new thing for you.
A tapered fade is very new for me. Usually, I would go for a mid-level fade.
Okay.
Mid-level fade or skin fade. That was my thing.
Skin fade is almost no hair.
Almost no hair on the sides at the back, right at the top. Then you have the hair. Or I'd go for a brush cut. Those are my go-tos. Right now I'm like, let's try out these new things. I've got this tapered fade.
And you're liking it?
It's not bad.
What have the comments been?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't know if people would actually tell you to your face that, we don't like that. What is that? What's on your head? I don't think people will say that. People are very kind.
Friends who are honest with you?
No, people are kind. They'll be like, well, because they see that you put in the effort and you went to a barber and you got this done. So the only thing they're going to say is, you look amazing. Oh, you look great.
No, you need to find you some honest friends. That's all you need.
Well, so far they're liking it.
It has. I agree with them. It is looking good.
They're liking it, but I do want to try out other things. Dye my hair. I was thinking of dyeing. Listen, we only live once. Can we maybe dye?
Now you might be okay.
And
what else? What color? What color are you thinking?
I was thinking either silver or. I'm actually being serious. I don't know why you're laughing. Silver or gold. Silver or gold. Definitely not colors and like the purples, the maroons, the reds, and no. Silver or gold.
Metallics are your thing.
Absolutely. Okay. I think it would work on me, don't you think?
I mean, let's see it first. I don't want to bash it, before I've seen you in it.
So I want to try quite a few styles this year.
Nice.
I've done the mohawk before, but this was like in 2012. I'm never going back to that.
Really? Are you not?
I'm not going back to a mohawk. It's out of style. Do people still do it?
If you go back to Legends, ask them to do it nicely for age-appropriate mohawk.
At my age, Nompumelelo, it's like there's certain hairstyles you no longer do it as beyond a certain age. Okay. When you're in your 30s and you're going to 40s, mohawks is not a thing anymore. 21 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time, we've got Siyabonga Mtshali coming up after this.
Call us on +27 63 406 9126.
I can see my whole world changing.
And contribute to the conversation.
Are you ready to level up your influence, your content, and your career? Join us at the Africa Creator Festival, where Africa's biggest brands and media powerhouses meet. From masterclasses, exclusive brand collabs, to the official signing of the Creator Charter. It's all happening at africacreatorfestival.com. Your next big move starts here, in partnership with the SABC. And remember, limited spots with unlimited possibilities. Book your tickets today at Quicket. Africa Creator Festival, powered by you.
We're telling aspirational and and empowering stories. This Africa Month on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside. Your daily dose of inspiration, innovation, and untold stories from across Africa. With Nompumelelo and Tebogo.
22 minutes after 2 p.m. Central African Time, we finally have the man himself, Siyabonga Mtshali, the visionary behind Siyababa Atelier. Siyabonga, thank you so much for your time and welcome to the Upside.
Hi, how are you doing? Thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm super excited for this interview.
Absolute pleasure.
We are excited to have you on the show. Siyabonga, let's talk about this collection, Siyazila. Incredibly personal. Talk to us about the story of your sister and the inspiration behind this collection.
I mean, mourning and the idea of death is something that I've gotten. I find that, especially with masculinity and being a man, we don't really get a chance to really be vulnerable.
Yeah.
My passing of my sister in November, I didn't really get a chance to cry and let their emotions out because immediately you uptake responsibilities that are traditionally left for a man to explore. So I did find some therapy and some grieving and celebration of her life. I didn't want it to be something that's somber, but remember her for who she was. That's why the collection had so many theatrics. And unfortunately, I'm not the type of person who knows how to express the emotion of sadness and mourning. So there was a little bit of backlog of emotion. And after the show, after Siyazila, I really found it therapeutic and I really did get a chance to celebrate and also importantly shed a tear. So it was letting something that was very personal go, so I can also continue with my life.
You know, it's interesting that you say that you don't necessarily have the expression or vocabulary to express your grief, and that's why you delve deep into your art for that. But you chose to bring it out in the most vibrant of ways, right? So while you chose this medium, one would expect it to be quite somber, dull as well. So tell us about its expression, these emotions, why it came out so completely different from what a person would expect grief to look like.
It was really a reference to the moments when I actually got back home. There's a ceremony just before the funeral called Umlindelo, where all the friends, all the family come together and cross night together to prepare for the funeral before.
Yeah.
And I found when her friends were around, it was a celebration. We even played games at some point. And that's when I realized that really and honestly, it's not something that was truly sad. Yes, she will be missed, but I felt that I wanted to bring her personality into it. I am the youngest at home and she was my older sister, so a lot of traits, my loudness, my form of expression really does come from her as well. And I really wanted to show how loud, expressive, and proud some of the traits that she taught me.
How close were you two? Were you the kind that called each other on the daily? Was she your bestie? Whenever you wanted to go out, she would be the person that you'd call?
To be very honest, no, because the age gap was a big one. Yes, she was my best friend. But because of the age gap, there was a sense of respect as well. She was in her 40s when I am in my mid-20s. So obviously, traditionally, a form of respect would be there, but she definitely was the protector at home. As I said, I'm the last born, but I am the only boy. But she did exude a lot of masculine traits. I knew if someone were to touch me when I was younger, I'm calling my sister. They won't be scared.
Tell us about, you have a collaboration for this collection with Zandile Chabalala. How did her artistic style then contribute or influence the garments?
Honestly, Zandile Chabalala, one of my favorite people, my favorite artists as well. And I always say that a lot of young creatives are now in a form of collaboration and community instead of competitiveness. And the art world was always somewhere that I wanted to introduce Siababa Atelier in, because I always found my work too artsy for the runway and too fashionable for the gallery as well.
Sure.
And the day I met Zandile Chabalala was the day where I really felt like the worlds could merge together. And one of the things, like, I really don't see much in Ghana. I use art to infuse into my clothing. So with Zandile Chabalala, we made ikaza, which are traditional earrings, usually worn by the Ndebele tribe and the Zulu tribe, Namaklosa. So she created this space, which was super vulnerable, I believe. It's, I love the idea of femme fatale. It's a girl that looks vulnerable, but one that also looks strong. And we put them in Lizzie Cars, Liz, bringing like the idea of traditionalists into like the collection, which I really loved.
Tebogo, you recently showcased the collection, Siazila, at the SA Menswear Week, AW25.
Yes.
What was the reaction?
The reaction was incredible. There was a lot of work that was put into the collection. So when you are making something, you don't usually get to see the full vision by yourself. You see the full vision with the audience. So I was an audience at my own show as well. And if I'm going to speak for myself, I ate that up. I think you did really well.
I love that confidence, because if you don't back you up, no one else will. Siabonga, we are going to ask you to just stay on the line for us. We'll continue the conversation when we get back from our sports and business news. We are in conversation with founder of Siababa Atelier, and that is Siabonga Mchali, speaking to us about his very latest collection that showcased at the South African Fashion Week 2025. But now it is Musibudi Makura who's going to give us the business news.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Right, Nompumelelo, very good afternoon from the sports desk. Let's start here. So Cote d'Ivoire's under-17 head coach Basiriki Dabeti has admitted that his side faces a daunting challenge at the FIFA under-17 World Cup in Qatar later on this year, after being drawn in what has been described as a difficult group. So the Elephants will compete in Group F alongside Mexico, Korea Republic, as well as Switzerland, a trio of teams representing three different continents as well as style of play. The 2025 tournament will mark Cote d'Ivoire's return to the global under-17 stage, with the expanded 48 format offering a bigger platform for African youth talent. But for the coach, as well as his technical team, the blend of football cultures in their group also means preparation must be precise. The Elephants qualified for the global finals through a strong performance at the Total Energies under-17 Africa Cup of Nations tournament earlier on in the year. Further afield now, Enzo Maresca says Cole Palmer's lean streak has made him a better player after the playmaker's sensational performance inspired Chelsea's Conference League comeback last night. The Blues claimed their first silverware in 3 years by beating Real Betis 4-1 in roll call in what was a far more competitive contest than the scoreline suggests. After a superb breakthrough season just last term and a strong start to this campaign, Palmer's form tallied off badly after Christmas. His late penalty in a 3-1 win over Liverpool earlier on this month ended a 17-game drought goal drought rather, but also remains his only strike since mid-January.
The bad moment or the bad run he had during this season is going to make him a better player, no doubt. We all know that he's a top player. We need to help him to be in the right position, in the right moment. And then he's quality player. In the last third, he can decide games with goal or with assist. And as you said, the 2 assists, they have been both very, very nice.
Maresca also said Chelsea can use winning the UEFA Conference League as a springboard for future success.
Hopefully it can be a starting point. To build a winner mentality, you need to win games, you need to win competition. And for sure, the trophy we won tonight is going to make us better. But also, I'm very proud about the path or the journey we have done in the Premier League. That for me is the most difficult competition in the world. You have to be consistent. It's 38 games, and this player they show during this. That's why after Nottingham Forest, my outburst was a little bit.
Cricket South Africa as well as Cricket Namibia have announced a historic one-off T20 international between the Namibia Eagles as well as the Proteas men set to take place at the FNB Namibia Cricket Ground in Windhoek on the 11th of October. So this encounter will also mark the first ever international match between the two senior national sides, a significant milestone for African cricket. It will also serve as an official opening of the FNB NCG, which will also be the host venue for the Under-17 Men's Cricket World Cup in 2026, as well as the also hosting a couple of matches for the upcoming ICC Men's World Cup in 2027. So Cricket South Africa's Chief Executive Officer, Poletsi Moseki, says they are honoured to be part of this historic occasion. He says that Namibia do remain a competitive side, and this fixture reflects the growing of the sport on the African continent. And finally, Norway's Casper Ruud has criticised the ATP ranking system by describing it like a rat race which forces players to compete with injuries. Ruud, a two-time runner-up at the French Open, suffered a second-round exit on Wednesday, losing 2-6, 6-4, 6-1 and 6-love to Portugal's Nuno Borges. The seventh seed also won the first set comfortably, but sort of struggled towards the end of that match with a knee injury that he has been carrying since April. Ruud said it was difficult to take time off on the ATP tour to allow an injury to heal. Now, the ATP as well as the women's WTA tours have mandatory requirements, meaning players must appear to set a number of tournaments each season. Now, the top-ranked ATP players are required to participate in 8 of the 9 mandatory Masters 1000 events. That's a wrap from the Sports Desk at the Sawa. For any sports stories that you'd like to share with us, our email address, newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. The Morning Switch Weekend with the Shy Guy.
Matuka Wanji Nonse, Zukani, the Shy Guy, a Morning Switch.
Have you ever listened to a song and then it gives you goosebumps? Because it takes you way back in the 80s. My goodness. Yay! Woo! Hey, baby. You hear Yvonne Chaga Chaga there. I want to talk to the DJ. And then the DJ goes like, hey, baby, I've got you on the other side. Huh? There were no WhatsApps then, right? There were no sliding to in the TMs at the time. Oh, man.
Your weekend mornings are activated with the Shy Guy on the Morning Switch. The Upside, live and real.
Well, it sounds like the Shy Guy is having all the fun here on Channel Africa. Buntle Headbush has your business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thanks, Tebogo. Good afternoon. South Africa's cabinet has confirmed that there are already ongoing negotiations between the country and the United States of America on the issue of tariff hikes. Minister in the presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshabeni, addressed a media briefing in Parliament earlier today.
On the personal feelings of the Oval Office, yes, our mission is accomplished. And then I'll deal with those related questions. I'm sure you saw the op-ed that I penned in terms of the highlights of what's in some of the things that are in the trade deal. Of course, we'll have to discuss the tariffs and also including the non-tariff barriers. We have proposed that we need a quota of 40,000 vehicles manufactured in South Africa to enter the US with in the current arrangements of no tariffs.
The South African Reserve Bank is announcing its latest decision on the repo rate this afternoon. With inflation currently at a subdued 2.7%, some economists are calling for a rate cut to stimulate growth. However, others caution that global economic uncertainties and domestic structural challenges may justify maintaining the current rate. Head economist at KPMG South Africa, Frank Blackmore, explains some of the factors that the bank may take into consideration when making its decision.
There are upside risks, as you said, the geopolitics. Will the US put trade tariffs on us? We might get sanctioned. The rand might lose some value. And all of that needs to be taken into account when setting interest rates, which just might mean that we continue to pause on those interest rate changes for the next, at least until the next meeting, when more clarity may be available.
South African Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says that Africa must find different ways of becoming self-sufficient amid an unstable geopolitical environment. He spoke to SABC News on the margins of the African Development Bank Group's annual meeting in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. The meeting comes as a trade war intensifies, affecting a number of countries. Godongwana elaborates.
One of the other challenges Africa is facing now, overseas development assistance is declining completely, and also the various trade challenges that are emerging as a result of the American position. So what that means is that Africa has got to look at being self-sufficient, and we need institutions to be able to fund our own development as Africa. And therefore, this institution, amongst others, it has got to work with national development agencies and so on to attack the level of poverty and infrastructure deficiencies in our economy.
The Bank of Africa, Morocco's third largest lender, has reported a 26% increase in profit attributable to shareholders to $99.5 million in the first quarter. The bank says this increase in profits was driven by a rise in net banking income. Net banking income rose 11% to $549.4 million. It says there was also an improvement in interest and fee margins. A relief rally in the dollar has faded this afternoon, with the greenback holding on to only minor gains against some major currencies. This comes after a rally by the U.S. currency on news that a court had blocked U.S. President Donald Trump from imposing import tariffs on other countries. However, this initial boost to the dollar started fading as market attention returned to a still uncertain trade outlook. The dollar was last up just 0.1% at 145 yen, down from the last 2 weeks' highs, and was virtually flat against the euro. Taking a look at other financial indicators this afternoon, $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 585. In Botswana, it's at 13 pula 28. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 41, and in Zambia, it's at 26 kwacha 71. The BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 real 66, Russia 79 rubles 90, in India it's at 85 rupees 42, China 7 yuan 19, and South Africa $1 is trading at 17 rand 92 cents. $1 is at 74 pence pence to the British pound and 88 to the euro. Looking at the commodities this afternoon, gold is trading at $3,273 and platinum at $1,077 per ounce, while Brent crude oil is at $65.70 a barrel. And those are your business news at this hour. For any business news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Bontle Hetbush.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa. Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege.
This song has a line that I love so much in the isiXhosa language. It says, "Andinayo nesentem daga." So I went down to the Eastern Cape. So I went to Yanga and said, "Yanga, tell me here, what does andinayo nesentem daga mean?"
If I say andinayo nesentem daga, it means that I do not have any money on me. I do not have money to give to you.
Interesting, because in Chivenda, I would just say, "Atinana peni, ndo cherungwe." I wonder if you have that expression in your home language when you want to say you're broke, but in a very creative way. What do you say? I'd like to hear from you.
Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege. They talk about what Africans say about Africa.
And what Africans are saying about Africa is Siyababa.
Yeah, definitely.
Siyababa
Atelier. It's the addition of the atelier as well for me. We'll get into it with Siyabonga.
I love that. We're still in conversation with Siyabonga Mchadi. Siyabonga, thank you so much for hanging on the line. And let us know, where did the atelier come from for Siyababa?
Actually, it was a pretty funny story, to be very honest. Previously, when I was coming into Johannesburg to fulfill my dreams of becoming a designer, I don't think the dream is too far now since we're having this interview.
Hey, you're there. You've arrived.
I was actually in like a group of friends, like we were all creators. And at first, my name was Papi Core. And the other member had a name called Papi as well. And he was like, one of us has to change it. And I'm like, well, I'm giving you up until tomorrow to give me a new name. And I mean, like, style has always been my thing. And while we were just sitting in class writing an exam, actually, for patterns, he turns around and goes like, your name is Siyababa. And I liked it because I do feel like my work is about making sure that everyone looks beautiful. It's a very inclusive brand. That's why we tell so many queer stories, because we wanted to include queer people within the brand as well. And Atelier was just to give it that little juice, that little, biza. It's expensive a bit too. So also just the craftsmanship of it, because I did go to formal training at Lysoft, which is now known as Daniel School of Fashion. I did want to say, yes. Met a lot of amazing friends and colleagues there as well. But yeah, so the atelier was just to highlight the fact that it is a trained person. There is thought behind it. We do prioritize quality and storytelling.
Tell us about what specific pieces in the collection hold particular significance or tell a unique story for you.
There is a dress, I have to rename it. It's called the Anxiety dress. It's a dress that I wanted to represent like the hard leather, the hard shell that I had to be while mourning my sister. So it's a leather dress, but the lace up at the back involves rope, which is tied from the neck going down to the floor, and the model has to carry the rope. It brings the idea of anxiety. I feel like that's the most vulnerable dress in the collection. At first, I was scared that people could pick it up as self-harm. But I think people got the idea that anxiety had in place because social constructs were really tilting in.
Sure.
And Sebo, who is this collection meant for? I asked the question because when I went onto your page, Siababa Atelier, on Instagram, and I saw the collection. There were some items there that were very interesting. Like, would that be worn in public? I don't know. So who is this collection for?
As I said, Siababa Atelier, it's in the name. Sia is we, and Ubaba is heart. So we are heart. So my brand usually does gravitate to someone who is loud, someone who is bold, and someone that really wants to be seen. I don't think you need to have a special occasion to wear Siababa Atelier or the avant-garde looks or extreme looks. I have clientele. I just want to go to the grocery store looking fab. So it's for everyone. It's for you too as well. Maybe, I don't know if you saw the backless suit.
That's the one.
Maybe that would look good on you.
Just as you go grab your fruits and veggies from the stores. All right. Where is it available? Where can people purchase it?
So currently we are building an online store because at first we did exclusively do custom attire, but now we're starting to go into more commercial base because we do want everyone to have access to Siababa Atelier. But currently we are available through DMs and email, which is siababaatelier@gmail.com. And then we can just customize your looks for you because we do like to have a conversation with the person that we're making clothes for and adapt their personality into the clothing as well. So it's something personal for them as well.
Sure.
And in terms of expansion plans, Siabonga, what does the future look like for Siababa Atelier?
Siababa to the world. Siababa to the world. Siababa to the world. I do honestly prioritize Africa. I've been looking at a lot of African creatives, and I do want to collaborate more and understand other cultures as well. Currently, we are focused on my background, which is a Zulu background, but I think diving into history in the way that people migrated and who we are as Africans today. I always say that African narratives are usually written by white people, and we look to deconstruct that. So Africa to the world, basically.
Siyabonga Mtshali, give us your social media handles and that email address one more time.
So you can find Siababa Atelier on Instagram. Siababa Atelier, which is SIYABABAATELIER. Yes. And you can also find us on YouTube under the exact same handle.
Siyabonga Mtshali, the founder of Siababa Atelier. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, it's 10 minutes before 3 Central African time. Let's take a quick break.
Are you ready to level up your influence, your content, and your career? Join us at the Africa Creator Festival, where Africa's biggest brands and media powerhouses meet. From masterclasses, exclusive brand collabs, to the official signing of the Creator Charter. It's all happening at africacreatorfestival.com. Your next big move starts here, in partnership with the SABC. And remember, limited spots with unlimited possibilities. Book your tickets today at Quicket. Africa Creator Festival, powered by you.
Big news from Channel Africa. Now you can listen and watch your favorite shows on Channel Africa. Channel Africa is streaming live on the internet on all our social media pages at Channel Africa 1. From 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. Central African Time. Download the SABC Plus app or visit our website www.channelafrica.co.za and stream us live on all our social media pages at Channel Africa 1. Channel Africa now streaming for your eyes and ears only. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Connecting Africa to the world. The Upside with Nompumelelo Ngubeni and Tebogo. Bringing you Africa's brightest ideas and untold stories. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to Eastern Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9 is always with you.
What's the name of that song? That song must
The
feature
one
in my playlist.
Uzozi Sola. It's a bit threatening. You'll regret it. By Justin Vibes, Diamonds of Guijo, as well as Azul Serene. But the main artist is Justin Vibes.
I tell you what, someone is going to have regrets because we're about to have a quiz right now.
That's why I said it's a bit threatening.
The scores
I don't know
are...
who's going to be regretting.
The scores are 3-2 to me.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean...
And our phenomenal producers in the building.
Is she phenomenal only because she's been giving you answers?
She's been phenomenal this whole time. Nompumelelo Tango is in the building. If I win this one, that means we are done. I have
Okay.
one Africa month. I am Africa. All right. Nompumelelo, how are you doing?
How are you guys? I'm great. And yourself?
Fantastic. What
Great.
are you quizzing us on today, by the way?
So I'm going to quiz you guys on tourist attractions.
Okay. That's why she's the fantastic producer, because you are giving. Why don't we just say congratulations? Woo! Yay!
By the way, I don't know all of them.
Well done, because
I
if we're speaking domestic and African travel, Tebogo's got it. So let's just say congratulations. I've actually tapped out of it. It's fine. Just give it to him.
All right. Let's get into it. Got like less than 3 minutes to go.
Okay, so the rules are... Okay, let me keep my composure. The rules are, for those who don't know, is that I'm going to ask a question, and times I am going to give you guys options.
Yes.
And whoever calls out is the one who's going to answer. If you call out your name during a question, I'm going to stop the question, and whoever answers. If you get it wrong, we give the chance to the other presenter.
Yes,
For those who are listening, please do participate and let us know if you got all the answers correct.
Mhm.
Okay. Which country hosts or has pyramids and the Sphinx?
Can we say that together? I couldn't even say my name.
It's the fact
Let's
that
say
you couldn't
together.
say your name.
Let's say it together.
All right.
You were so anxious.
3, 2, 1.
Egypt.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Africa's largest canyon, the Fish River Canyon, is located in which country? I'm going to give you guys options.
Okay.
South Africa, Libya, Morocco, or Namibia? Tebogo.
Largest canyon, I'm going to go for Namibia.
You are correct. Mpumi.
I actually didn't know that one.
Okay. Which country is famous for the production of hand-woven kente cloth?
Nompumelelo.
Tebogo?
Is it Ghana?
You're correct.
Right. Why are you shocked at that? That's general knowledge.
He said
Sorry,
he's not good
everybody
with
knew
fashion.
that.
I really am not good
But
with fashion.
kente cloth is such a popular cloth.
Even
It is.
kente cloth
It is.
it's fashion also.
Okay. The world's largest desert, the Sahara, spans how many African nations? First option, 5. Second option, 11. Third option, 8. And the fourth option, 15.
Hectic. Nompumelelo. 8.
Incorrect. I'm going to read out the options again. 5, first option. Second option, 11. Third option, 8. Fourth option, 15.
I'm going to go with 15.
You are incorrect.
Oh, no. What's the answer?
It is 11.
Oh, no. Was I closer?
I mean, we can't give you the answer.
All right.
We can't give you the answer. Listen, we'll come back and finish off the question.
How many more questions?
The quiz. Just 2 more questions.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Onalin Zinzi, please come in here after your bulletin, because these two are cheating. I'm going to need some reinforcement. Tell us the news quick, fast.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Well, thank you, Mpumi. Looking at your top stories, ECOWAS commemorates the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the regional body, and Sri Lanka former minister sentenced to 20 years in jail. Your latest news, greetings to our listeners. The economic community of West African states faces growing threats of terrorism, climate change, military coups and poverty. Jihadist violence has surged this year in Nigeria and the Sahel region, including Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, nations that have withdrawn from ECOWAS in protest over sanctions following military coups. Leaders and representatives from ECOWAS are meeting in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial capital. The summit aims to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the regional body. President of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Touare, explains.
We have demonstrated to the world that the African solution actually works. With the same spirit of solidarity and collective self-reliance, we are confronting the gravest challenges we face today: terrorism, climate change, unconstitutional change of government, poverty and economic disparities. With our strong collective will, I have no doubt that we shall overcome these challenges. Our strength lies in our unity, in our shared identity, and in the spirit of solidarity that defines our union.
Senegal has initiated a symbolic national dialogue which has brought together nearly 800 participants from various horizons in a climate that is marked by persistent political tension. This framework of consultation under the leadership of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye aims to explore options to set up the democratic foundations of the country, emphasizing reconciliation and national unity. Senegalese reporter Amadou Kamara Goye explains.
And many questions will be raised about how to reform the political system in Senegal, political parties, electoral vote, and also how to imply other political figure, meaning the opposition, and also influential figure in order to ease the political and the social context, which is very tense in Senegal. Since Diomaye and Sonko have taken the power, and Senegalese people start worrying, and people need to discuss as our tradition, meaning the dialogue, in order to ease the political and the social context, which is very tense.
The president of Botswana, Tebogo, says movement between Botswana and South Africa should be simplified to ensure no citizens from either side is punished for overstaying in either country. Duma addressed consultative meetings at the border villages of Ramotswa and Tlogweng yesterday. He says travelers, especially those from Botswana, continue to face a lot of challenges when entering or exiting South Africa.
Well, there are a number of issues really that stand out. The first is an issue regarding movement between South Africa and Botswana. There are many challenges there. People who come into South Africa for many reasons and end up overstaying even by a day lose the right to re-enter South Africa for at least 12 months. So these are some of the issues that we raised and we will look at and we've committed to dealing with. So these are some of the issues that we foreshadowed, but we will deal with more substantively at the binational and going forward.
Family members of the South African National Defence Force soldiers who perished during various missions became emotional during the wreath-laying ceremony. The SANDF is commemorating the International Peacekeeping Day in Bloemfontein in the Free State Province in honor of the fallen heroes and heroines. Boniwe Mobe says it has not been easy living without her husband.
It's very tough, honestly, especially for me and our kid. But we have all the support we need from the defense. So there are social workers, chaplains, calling, psychologists. So we are sorted on that one.
Lastly, a court in Sri Lanka has sentenced the former minister to 20 years in jail for corruption. The judge found former sports minister Mahindananda Alut Gumarge guilty of misspending about $175,000 of government funds importing board games. The BBC's Ann Barasan Etirajan.
The former Sri Lankan minister and an ex-official used government money to import 14,000 carom boards and 11,000 drop sets a decade ago. They were attempting to boost the re-election bid of the then-president Mahinda Rajapaksa. Mr. Alut Gamage was a sports minister in the cabinet of Mr. Rajapaksa who suffered a shock defeat in the poll. Mr. Alut Gamage has described the case against him as political revenge. He is the most senior member of a Rajapaksa-led cabinet to be successfully prosecuted for corruption.
Recapping on your top stories, the economic community of West African states faces growing threats of terrorism, climate change, military coups and poverty. Jihadist violence has surged this year in Nigeria and the Sahel region, including in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Nzinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
right, it is 7 minutes after 3 Central African time, the third and final hour of the Upside. And we are continuing with our quiz. So our producer, Nombisalo Tango, is in studio to ask the last 2 questions. I need some of that ominous music that... So, Nompumelelo, you know that music that kind of gets you on edge. But, all right.
It's like the final.
Wait.
So we've got 2 more questions to go. The
so
score
I could
is
answer
2-0.
both right and you would lose.
2-0.
Or it would be
a tie.
A tie.
And we'll have a tiebreaker.
Okay, I just need to get this one then. All right, here we go.
I've never seen him this excited.
What you're doing. Yeah. And he's... Okay, no, let's go.
Okay. In which country would you be if you were visiting the stilted village of... And I'm not quite sure if I'm saying the name correctly, and please correct me, Ganvi. When I ask the question again, in which country would you be if you were visiting the stilted vision of Ganvi? Options are?
Okay.
Nompumelelo.
Oh.
That's still...
you don't want options?
No.
Wait for the
options.
Morocco.
I told you, wait for the options. Why are you rushing? All right, give us the options.
A, Togo. B, Benin. C, Guinea-Bissau.
Nompumelelo Ngubeni?
Again,
no, I'm not saying the answer. I'm saying Nompumelelo.
Okay.
Yeah, the last option was Guinea-Bissau, right?
No, that was not the last
what
option.
Was
but
it?
Again,
that was the third option.
What was the third option?
Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
There are 4 options.
Oh, 4. I thought they 3. Yes. Okay. I really want to get this point.
And then the 4th option is Cameroon.
Nompumelelo.
Nompumelelo.
It's either it's Togo or Benin. So it's Benin.
You're right. She's fine. That's right.
Well
I'm
done.
not going out without a fight. That's what.
Well done.
We're not doing that.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
The people of the Fulani ethnic group inhabit the northern region of which country?
Nompumelelo. Oh, you're giving us options. Yeah. Give us options. All right.
Wow.
Option A, Zambia. B, Nigeria. C, Ethiopia. And D, Somalia. Nompumelelo.
Sorry, first option was what?
A, Zambia. B, Nigeria. C, Ethiopia. And D, Somalia.
Go for it.
B.
You're correct.
Oh, baby! I told you I wasn't in the game. My head was not in the game.
Right. So
there we go. Tiebreaker.
Here's the tiebreaker.
Woo!
Okay. Right. Here we go.
Whoa.
It seems like now you're pulling up your socks.
Nothing lying down.
Ready.
Nothing. Let's fight. Let's go. Let's see.
Here we go.
Okay. Which country would you be visiting if you were shopping at the craft market in the capital city of Mbapane?
Tebogo. Eswatini.
He's correct.
Yeah, you. I mean,
no, right?
Rigged
no. I'm actually retracting that one because you're from.
I'm not from.
You are from
Eswatini.
You've got family there. You've got you've got links.
You're from
He is. He's got links to Eswatini. Please take my word for it. This guy is Swati. He's got Eswatini from Eswatini. You know what? I want to be.
Can we just give it to me? Because I want this one.
Oh,
is she getting another one? All right.
Fine. Another one?
I'm getting another one.
I'm game.
Are you game? Okay. The fabulous city of Timbuktu.
Tebogo.
Yes, Tebogo.
Zimbabwe.
No.
It's because he doesn't even know what the question is.
Okay. The fabulous city of Timbuktu is located in which country? A, Mauritania. B, Morocco. C, Mali. D, Niger.
All right. Go for it.
The fabulous city of Timbuktu is situated
in which country?
Yeah.
Mauritania. Morocco. Mali. Niger.
Mauritania or?
Morocco.
Yeah.
Mali
or Niger.
Niger.
Mali.
You're correct.
That's what I'm talking about. Do
Let's
not
talk about
disregard. Don't throw anybody out, okay? Do not disregard nobody in this game. That's what I'm talking about. I need that poo 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 poo. Whatever it is, Dando. There we go.
He's doing a boo.
Everyone is a hater in this building. Oh my word, a bunch of haters.
You know what? Wait. So this means we have to conclude today's show with a quiz.
One more quiz.
One more quiz. Because it's a tie now.
It's a tie.
It's not a tie.
It's 2-2 now.
Okay.
Oh, no, or rather 3-3
it's
rather.
not.
It's 3-3. It's 3-3 now.
I won.
It's a tie.
But it's a tie, 3-3. As in, like, remember it was 3-2. Now you won. It's 3-3 now.
You answered wrong.
No, collectively.
You answered that question wrong.
We're talking about
Collectively, not
the
this
quizzes.
one. Yes.
That's
it's a
fine.
tie. So
Bring in,
final
bring your
quiz
best
coming up before the show ends.
That's
Let's get some
right.
music.
That's what I'm talking
How competitive
about.
are you?
Vue d'Afrique avec Joël Mouteba.
Alors peut-on considérer cette décision comme un désengagement durable des États-Unis vis-à-vis du développement africain ou s'agit-il d'un simple réalignement stratégique?
Bon, ça peut être les deux à la fois. Donc, au lieu de donner de l'argent à la Banque africaine de développement pour partager en vrac, ils préfèrent maintenant donc cibler les pays partenaires en Afrique. Ça, c'est pour le
réalignement stratégique.
Alors, et aussi, ce n'est pas un désengagement durable, mais je pense que dans les 2 ou 3 prochaines années, il veut d'abord remettre de l'ordre dans ses affaires.
Vue d'Afrique. Du lundi au vendredi de 15h à 16h, temps universel.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine, weekdays 6 till 9.
A Mauritanian appeals court has this week handed down a 15-year prison sentence and a hefty $3 million fine to the country's former president Mohamed Ould Abdel Aziz for corruption, money laundering and illicit self-enrichment. The ruling upholds and escalates an earlier conviction from 2023, marking a significant moment in Mauritania's efforts to tackle high-level corruption.
In terms of the country fighting corruption, I think this case shows the seriousness of the country in trying to fight corruption. There is substantial evidence that indicates to the fact that he was corrupt. These cases are always very difficult to then be able to balance whether they're not politically motivated and also balancing the rule of law.
Nyasha Mpani, who's a project leader at the Institute for Justice and Reconciliation in South Africa.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda. If it's news and current affairs, leading opinions, and thought leaders that get your groove, this is your home, The Upside. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real. with Tebogo and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to Eastern Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful story. Africa is a story, a living, breathing, ever-evolving masterpiece. And for over 5 decades now, one voice has told it like no other. Channel Africa. More than just a broadcaster, Channel Africa is the pulse of the continent. African-led, African-run, and deeply rooted in its heritage. It's the only international station that speaks to Africa in its own voices. English, Kiswahili, Chinyanja, French, and Portuguese. The languages that unite 1 billion people. We have been there through every shift, every milestone. Join the birthday celebrations this month.
Happy birthday to you.
Still connecting Africa to the world.
Channel Africa, the African perspective. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Protesters in Ghana have accused the country's president of violating the constitution and interfering in the independence of the judiciary. Eric Mawena Egbeta, the opposition protesters are calling for the reinstatement of Tokonu.
The presidency and the president and all of its spokespersons around the seat of government have had one narrative and one narrative only, that no constitutional breaches have occurred in the process up until now, which has resulted in the suspension of the Chief Justice. In fact, it does appear the government has already communicated to these protesters that were not interested in having the Chief Justice return and fill her position until the determination of the matter. We believe that she must remain suspended for the investigations to take place, after which the final determination will inform whether or not she returns.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. Her name is Puleng Mulibati, and she's on Tech Africa.
Leading the tech conversation every single Sunday on Channel Africa.
Robotic process automation, just from a definitive perspective, is a software that emulates human activity for us to be able to remove mundane, repetitive tasks and build efficiency. That's what it means from a definitive perspective. Now, where exactly has this been reused, or has people seen this or familiar with? Now, you'd have seen probably in the automotive industry these big robots robots that are moving large objects and assembling them. And it's generally to assist the particular production process to be more efficient and also to be able to avoid any injuries from human activity, to be able to lift these heavy objects that can cause harm.
And one of the key findings I think that stands out for me is that developing market economies and people are using AI much more than developed market economies, which I thought was quite surprising. In fact, in South Africa, amongst the people we surveyed, 91% report using generative AI for their work.
Tech Africa every Sunday, 9 till 12 noon, Central African Time. Join Tebogo and Nompumelelo on the upside, where optimism meets opportunity.
Yeah, 22 minutes after 3 Central African Time. Chima Music and Soul Star with Wars just before the break. As we get on to what caught your eye. Tebogo, some exciting news that you have there for us.
What caught my eye? Tyler.
Oh man, what has she done now? This rising star of ours.
Tyler. On the 26th of May at the Fontainebleau.
What?
At the Fontainebleau in Las Vegas. This was for the American Music Awards, the AMAs 2025. She won Favorite Afrobeats Artist Award.
Favorite Afrobeats
artist
of the year? Oh,
is this of the year?
I don't know.
Must have been of the year.
Okay.
Right? Favorite Afrobeats artist. That's the award that she won. But for me, it's the staggering amount of nominations and awards that she has amassed in 20 months.
It's really incredible what Tyler has been able to do. How many do you have a round number?
105 nominations.
105 nominations.
About 30 wins in total in a space of a year, just over a year and a half. How incredible is
this? You know, when Siyabonga, our previous guest, spoke about From Africa to the World?
Yeah.
This is prime example of Africa to the world. Tyler's star has like risen meteorically. It is just incomparable what she's been able to do with her career in these couple of months.
And yet she's still a girl from South Africa.
Still keeping true to, the South African flavor.
She didn't lose her accent.
No.
She still enjoys when she cooks in the kitchen.
Makes pap
and wors. Still so grounded with so many accolades behind her name. The stars are they the limit? She has no limits right now. In a space of 20 months, 105 nominations, including Grammy Awards, which she was nominated and then won, BET Awards, MTV Video Music Awards, MTV Europe Music Awards, Billboard Music Awards, iHeartRadio Music Awards, South African Music Awards, Basadi Music Awards, Metro FM Music Awards, Trace Awards, and then there are others as well. My goodness me. Congratulations to Tyler for shining the South African flag ever so high and so proud. We are proud.
Very
as
proud,
a nation,
Tyler.
as a nation, as a continent. We are proud of you, Tyler. So that's what caught my eye.
Well done. Congratulations. Being associated with the Tyler name is something to certainly be proud of. And kudos. Kudos to you. What caught my eye? All right, so there was a sentencing in our first conversation, we spoke about Olorato. And her passing, the memorial service today. There has been an update about one person being arrested and 3 still at large with regards to her case.
Yeah.
But another case that caught my eye is one that has been ongoing. It shocked us when it came out. And this is about a mother from the Western Cape who sold her daughter for money, for 20,000 Rand. She and her accomplices, Stefano van Rijn, as well as Jacques Apollos. They've been sentenced today. And she was sentenced to life in prison. All right?
Okay.
That for me doesn't matter anymore. You know that? Like I saw that and I thought,
so
it's immaterial.
They sold their daughter. She sold
her daughter.
Has the daughter been found?
That's the nub of that's the whole point. Is that yes, she has been sentenced. Yes, she has been found to have been colluding with these two other gents about the disappearance of her daughter.
Yeah.
But where is this child? Where is Jocelyn? Where is Jocelyn?
She's going to have to live with this for the rest of her life. Because
is that enough, though?
Because she probably knows exactly what happened to Jocelyn. But at least be honest enough after the sentencing, so that at least if her body is somewhere and she's not alive anymore, can they retrieve it, and then give her a proper send off if that's the case, and if she knows about it, can she at least be honest about that?
She hasn't. She's stayed mum about where the child is.
How old is the child again?
6.
6, a
Jocelyn
baby.
was 6 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I remember the facts correctly. Jocelyn was 6 years old.
And it's been some time now that she's been missing.
Yeah. It's been a couple of months. A couple of months. So wherever she is, I mean, there are all sorts of speculations about where Jocelyn, 6 years old, about where Jocelyn could be. Sold to the Sangoma, and if it is true that she was sold because of her green eyes, from which they'll make muti, then she is definitely not alive anymore. But if it is true from other reports that she may be shipped off, human trafficking, further trafficked to other countries, then she's not in the country. Where is this child? Like, does no one care about finding closure with regards to where she is?
And no one has come forward.
No one has come forward to say, we've seen her, we're looking for her. That, for me, is the real case here. Where is the child? What are officials doing to find her? Does she, Kelly, not care?
Clearly not. Clearly not. Sentenced to life, and you still won't say anything. You're still mum about the whole situation. You don't care where your daughter is. And if you've done something, you don't care to be honest about what
because
actually
at this
happened.
stage, you really have an opportunity to be honest.
You really do.
And come clean.
You really do. So what about the accomplices? So what did they get?
Life.
Everyone got life.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
It isn't, especially when the whereabouts of this child. And also, that is another case that could be added onto this case. But, we hope that the family, the grandmother is distraught over this entire situation. I hope that Jocelyn's other family members who do care find some kind of relief, comfort from the sentencing. And may she be found. I hope that we do get closure about where Jocelyn's whereabouts are.
We certainly hope that she'll be found. Well, we're about to listen in on what's happening in the world of sports with Musibudi Makura. And I know that in cricket terms, quite a few things are happening this weekend. I'm looking forward to a couple of playoffs in the IPL, the Indian Premier League.
But they're back on.
Yeah, they're back on after. Yeah, they're back on. But let's find out what's happening with the sports news with Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. We'll start with cricket news. So Cricket South Africa as well as Cricket Namibia have announced a historic one-off T20 international match between Namibia's Eagles as well as the Proteas men's side that is set to take place at the FNB Namibia Cricket Ground in Windhoek on the 11th of October. So this encounter will also mark the first ever international match between the two senior national sides, a significant milestone for African cricket. So it will also serve as the opening of the FNB NGC Stadium, which will also host a number of competitions, the first one being the ICC Under-17 Men's World Cup in 2026. And this venue will also host the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup, the senior one, in 2027. So Cricket South Africa's Chief Executive Officer, Boletsi Moseki, says they are honoured to be part of this historic occasion. He also says Namibia are a competitive side and that fixture will also reflect the growing strength of cricket on the African continent. continent. In football news now, Cote d'Ivoire's under-17 head coach Baserki Dabeti has admitted that his side faces a daunting challenge at the FIFA under-17 World Cup in Qatar, this after being drawn into what he described as a difficult group. The Elephants will compete in Group F alongside Mexico, Korea Republic, as well as Switzerland, a trio of teams representing 3 different continents as well as styles of play. The 2025 tournament will also mark Cote d'Ivoire's return to the global under-17 stage, with the expanded 48-team format offering bigger platform for African young talent. But for the coach and his technical team, the blend of football cultures in their groups sort of prepares them to be more precise as they go about their business at this year's FIFA Under-17 World Cup. The Elephants qualified for this global final through a strong performance at the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations tournament that took place in Algeria just a few weeks ago. While Enzo Maresca says Cole Palmer's lean streak has made him a better player, this after the playmaker's sensational performance inspired Chelsea's Conference League comeback last night. So the Blues also claimed their first silverware in the 3 years by beating Real Betis 4-1 in Poland last night in what was a far more competitive contest than what the scoreline suggests. Now, after a superb breakthrough season just last term, as well as a strong start to this campaign, Palmer's form was not at its best after Christmas. His late penalty in a 3-1 win over Liverpool earlier on this month ended a 17-game goal drought, but also remains his only strike since mid-January of this year.
The bad moment or the bad run he had during this season is going to make him a better player, no doubt. We all know that he's a top player. We need to help him to be in the right position in the right moment, and then he's quality player. In the last third, he can decide games with goal or with assist. And as you said, the 2 assists, they have been both very, very nice.
Maresca also said that Chelsea must use the winning the UEFA Conference League as a springboard for future success and hoping to win more trophies for the club next season.
Hopefully, it can be a starting point to build a winner mentality. You need to win games. You need to win competition, and for sure, the trophy we won tonight is going to make us better. But also, I'm very proud about the path or the journey we have done in the Premier League. That for me is the most difficult competition in the world. You have to be consistent. It's 38 games. And this player, they show during this. That's why after Nottingham Forest, my outburst was a little bit...
Right, so not much rest for Chelsea. So they'll be competing, by the way, just next month in the FIFA Club World Cup. So not much rest for the players. And I guess they'll be playing, they'll get more rest only after the FIFA Club World Cup for just a few weeks. And then the new season, the 2025-2026 Premier League season is set to start. And finally, Charlie Woods has won his first American Junior Golf Association event to follow in his father's footsteps. Tiger, the 16-year-old American, claimed a 3-shot victory at the Team Tailor-Made Invitational in Bowling Green, Florida. Tiger Woods played in 13 AJGA tournaments. That was from 1991 to 1993, winning 8, the joint highest behind Phil Mickelson. So in his 5th event, Charlie began the final round one-shot overnight lead over the overnight leader Luke Horton, ranked 606th by the AJGA. The teenager mixed 2 bogeys with about 8 birdies for a 6-under par 66 on the black course at Stream Song Resort, which also saw him top the leaderboard at 15 under. Before this week, the younger Woods' best result on the junior circuit was a share of 15th place at the Junior Invitational at Sage Valley in March of this year. That's a wrap from the Sports Desk at this hour. I'm back with more sporting updates in the next hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, our email address is newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or call us. The newsroom line is +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. In this episode of Channel Africa Conversations, Peter talks to Dr. Thulisile Buda, an academic, author, and an expert in indigenous knowledge systems. Join us for a compelling discussion on preserving African languages and traditions in the digital era. Dr. Thulisile unpacks the role of educators, explorers, and how technologies like AI can support cultural preservation, and challenges us to rethink how we honor African heritage. You can find the episode on YouTube, SABC Plus, and on our website, channelafrica.co.za. This episode is a must-listen for educators, creators, and change makers across the continent. Channel Africa, the African Perspective. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
37 minutes after 3 p.m. Central African Time. Let's head on over now to Buntle Headbush, who's got your business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Good afternoon. Let's take a look at our top business story this afternoon. The South African Reserve Bank Governor Lesitsha Kganyago has finally announced a cut in the repo rate by 25 basis points this afternoon. This brings the repo rate down to 7.25%. The prime lending rate for commercial banks now stands at 10.75%. Kganyago says the aim of this rate cut is to revive South Africa's sluggish economy. The bank has revised its forecast for the country's economic growth to 1.2%. South Africa's Small Business Development Minister Stella Ngubeni says the country is ready to host the inaugural G20 Global SME Ministerial in July. The minister briefed the media on preparations for the global small and medium-sized enterprises ministerial meetings. The meeting will be attended by global leaders in Johannesburg from the 22nd to the 24th of July 2025. Minister Ngubeni says they will use the gathering to tackle challenges facing small businesses such as access to finance and gather ideas on accelerating digital and economic transformation.
This is the first of its kind, wherein we see 70 countries gathering together to discuss MSME issues. We're bringing in ministers, we bring in members of the ecosystem in terms of the entrepreneurs themselves, but also we bring regulators and academia, because it is important that when we look at policy perspectives, they're evidence-based, and therefore we need researchers to come up with that work. We're looking at the critical aspects that are faced by the entrepreneurs. If you're talking about access to financing, globally, it's not only an issue that is happening in South Africa or in the continent, but worldwide, entrepreneurs are suffering.
South Africa's cabinet has confirmed that there are already ongoing negotiations between the country and the United States of America on the issue of tariff hikes. Minister in the presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshabeni, addressed a media briefing in Parliament earlier today.
On the personal feelings of the Oval Office, yes, our mission is accomplished. And then I'll deal with those related questions. I'm sure you saw the op-ed that I penned in terms of the highlights of what's in some of the things that are in the trade deal. Of course, we'll have to discuss the tariffs, including the non-tariff barriers. We have proposed that we need a quota of 40,000 vehicles manufactured in South Africa to enter the US with in the current arrangements of no tariffs.
The Bank of Africa, Morocco's third largest lender, has reported a 26% increase in profit attributable to shareholders to $99.5 million in the first quarter. The bank says this increase in profits was driven by a rise in net banking income. Net banking income rose 11% to $549.4 million. It says there was also an improvement in interest and fee margins. Germany's culture minister Wolfram Wiemer is considering a 10% tax on large online platforms like Alphabet's Google and Meta's Facebook in a move likely to heighten trade tensions with the Trump administration. The proposal comes as Chancellor Friedrich Merz is expected to travel to Washington soon to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump, although a trip has not yet been officially announced. Wiemer says these corporations do billions in business in Germany with extremely high profit margins and benefit enormously from the country's media and cultural output as well as its infrastructure, but that they hardly pay any taxes, invest too little, and give far too little back to society. Now, taking a look at the indicators this afternoon, $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 585. In Botswana, it's at 13 pula 28. Kenya, the dollar is trading at 128 shilling 41, and in Zambia, it's 26 kwacha 71. The BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is trading at 5 riyals 66. Russia, 79 rubles 90. In India, it's 85 rupees 42. China, 7 yuan 19. And South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 92 cents. $1 is trading at 74 pence to the British pound and 88 to the euro. Looking at the commodities this afternoon, gold is trading at $3,279 and platinum at $1,078 per ounce, while Brent crude oil is at $65.62 a barrel. And those are your business news at this hour. For any business news stories you'd like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +2711 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Bontle Hetbush.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Gabu.
Protesters in Ghana have accused the country's president of violating the constitution and interfering in the independence of the judiciary. Eric Mawena Egbeta, the opposition protesters calling for the reinstatement of Tokonu.
The presidency and the president and all of its spokespersons around the seat of government have had one narrative and one narrative only, that no constitutional breaches have occurred in the process up until now, which has resulted in the suspension of the Chief Justice. In fact, it does appear the government has already communicated to these protesters that we're not interested in having the Chief Justice return and fill her position until the determination of the matter. We believe that she must remain suspended for the investigations to take place, after which the final determination will inform whether or not she returns.
Africa Update with Lulu Gabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time. If it's news and current affairs, leading opinions, and thought leaders that get your groove, this is your home, The Upside.
It is now 16 minutes before 4 p.m. Central African Time. Welcome back to The Upside. Final stretch of the show, if you will. And we're about to get into conversation about the Absa Le Atelier 2025 art competition. If you're a fan, if you're a budding artist, you want to express yourself, this is the conversation that you need to be listening out for. All right, we are currently streaming live on our social media platforms at Channel Africa 1 on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and at Channel Africa on Facebook. Use the hashtag The Upside. Well, time is running out for emerging African artists to step into the spotlight. The Absa Le Atelier 2025 art competition is making its final call for entries, with the deadline closing on the 31st of May. Open to artists between 21 to 40 with 12 African countries. This prestigious competition is now in its 39th year, offering powerful opportunities from international residencies to solo exhibitions and mentorship. Whether you're self-taught or classically trained, this is your moment to share your story through art. To tell us more about this, we are joined by Dr. Paul Bayliss, Senior Specialist Art and Museum Curator at Absa. Dr. Paul, thank you so much for your time and welcome to The Upside.
Thank you, Tebogo, and good afternoon to your listeners, and Great to be here.
We want to have this conversation. We need to have it because atelier, we were trying to figure out what does atelier mean in the first place. We figured atelier means workshop, but maybe you have a different definition for atelier, Dr. Paul.
Well, in the broader sense, you're not far off. So, atelier, originally, French word derivative, which means studio. So very much refers to, the studio where an artist would be working, where they would be, creating their masterpieces. And
there we go. Do we still have you on the line, Dr. Paul?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. So for those who then don't know, what is the ABSA Atelier all about and why is it so significant?
It is ABSA Atelier is a Pan-African competition and aimed, as you indicated, when you introduced it, for artists 21 through to 40. So any artist, whether they're self-taught, professionally trained, and really want to take their career seriously, I would really encourage them to enter it because what it does, it springboards their career through the offerings that we give in terms of the master classes, mentoring and the solo exhibition. But it also showcases their art, enables them to tell their story on a Pan-African stage. Suddenly we take in their voice and we're really showing it to the continent.
Dr. Paul, tell us about then the kind of opportunities that are available for the winners of the competition.
So what we do, every year we have 3 winners that come through the competition. And this year is the 39th year of the ABSA Atelier.
Sure.
So what the artists, do get, they get put through 11 master classes with leading authorities in the visual arts from across the globe. They also then offered a 4-month mentoring course with the leading authorities from their particular country. So if it is an artist from South Africa, they would be paired up with someone well-known, with authority within the industry that would then mentor them for 4 months. But I think the other 2 exciting things that then really come through this is the 3 artists get an international residency for 2 months. They come together, allows them to collaboratively work, really try new things in terms of their art production and so on. And ultimately, those artists go back to their home country where they then get offered a solo exhibition. And all the materials towards that solo exhibition are covered by ABSA, so the artist is not out of pocket. And as far as possible, we try to make those works available for sale, and all the proceeds from that sale of those artworks then goes directly back to that artist.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Dr. Paul, 39 years. How has this competition evolved ever since?
It's a milestone. I must be honest, when I look back over the years.
Yeah.
And, historically it started as a South African competition. And since then, as ABSA's footprint has broadened across the African continent, we've opened the doors for the competition to those artists in those countries where ABSA has a presence. What's also allowed very much for this competition to evolve over nearly 4 decades is advances in technology. So everything is done online. So if you're an artist, whether you're in a urban city area or in a more rural community, as long as you have a cell phone, access to the internet, there is not a barrier to entry. You may then enter this atelier. And I think for many art competitions out there, that's been one of the big challenges that they've had to overcome, because we're not asking the artists to take their artworks to a collection point. As long as they can photograph them digitally and upload them, they are then eligible to enter. And that's really broadened and opened the doors for the ABSA Atelier.
Dr. Paul, can you share some of the success stories from previous years?
Yes. If you look at within South Africa, one of our winners that came through it was Lekhuleni, who's now, besides being an artist, is a young gallerist on Keys Art Mile in Rosebank with BHKZ Gallery. And they're really doing wonderful things in terms of supporting and giving a platform to other young artists out there. But in addition, we've got a number of artists from across the continent that have now also used the platform and who are really growing the brand internationally. Recently, one of the winners from Ghana, he was based just outside Accra, Michael Jackson Blebo. He went through the program, had his solo exhibition. He then also spent some time with the University of Bloemfontein, working with the students on landscape art and so on. And he's also doing really wonderful things if we now look at what he's doing back home in Accra and things like that. So, within each of these countries, these artists are really using their voices now. And that's, what is important, because we've got such a long legacy of the L'Atelier. Many of these artists are now in positions of where they're running studios, supporting the broader creative industry. Many of them are lecturers as well and academics, teaching the next generation of artists. One of our very earliest winners of the L'Atelier was Diane Victor. I mean, she's very well known for her smoke drawings and that. Really got international credence and things like that. Was recently awarded an honorary doctorate by the University of Pretoria. That was a week or so back. So the artists that have come through it have continued to really support and mentor. And what we say to any artist that enters APSA L'Atelier, your journey with APSA only starts once you walk up on that stage. You become part of the APSA family, and we continue to work with you, support you in your career. And really, we want to see you fulfill, your aspirations and really achieve your dreams as an artist.
Amazing. Dr. Paul, how do you ensure authenticity? Now, anyone can now submit digitally their artwork. What if they didn't paint it themselves? What if they didn't create it themselves? Is there a way to monitor that?
We do have very strict measures in place. And, for all the winners, we do screenings on the winners from a government contractual perspective, things like that. The artist would, of course, because of the value of the prize that is being awarded to each of the winners, and what we are contributing to their careers, we would ask each artist that does come through to sign a contractual agreement with APSA, that does protect their rights as an artist, but also ourselves and all the partners that are contributing towards this. So, but we also I think there is also a level of, what do we call it, honesty that we are asking for the artist, because, as that's a L'Atelier, we do have a value system in place, and we would expect the artist to adhere to that value system, both in terms of themselves and in terms of, the value system that they give into their own careers to take it forward.
And what trends or themes are applicable for the contestants who are going to be entering the competition this year?
So we don't limit it. We limit it. The only limitation that we do give is to the size of the work. But beyond that, and the size is 2 meters by 2 meters, just because if we have to transport the winning works and things like that. But beyond that, we don't limit. We ask the artists to tell their authentic stories, whether it's about their journey, how they find themselves within the environment, or whether they're dealing with topical issues, because the beauty of any visual artist is art is a universal language. It crosses culture, geographical boundaries, and so on. But the artist has the ability to give visual representation to many of the issues that we see around us, and really to tell that story of how they see it. That old adage that, picture's worth 1,000 words, it really comes true when we look at the artist.
Dr. Paul, the deadline is on the 31st of May. For those who would like to submit, where do they go? Where can they find information?
So they've got 2 days left, and I would really like to encourage, artists or family members that know artists or friends to share this and really get them to enter. They need to go to the L'Atelier website. It's atelier.apsa.africa. They click on there, register. And then it's really, a very simple process for them to upload the entries. If they've got their pictures already taken and that of the artwork, they can do that fairly quickly. What I just want to really say, if I can add it in, that Lekhuleni been around for 39 years is truly a celebration of our young creators from across the continent. And it really does provide them with a unique platform to stand up, and also for us to celebrate, in the rich diversity and talent that we have on this amazing continent of ours.
I mean, absolutely everything of the best, Dr. Paul, to yourselves as the adjudicating board, as well as the artists themselves, when you finally do get all the applications in. And thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much to both of you. And again, a big thank you to your listeners as well. Thank you very much.
That is Dr. Paul Baylis, Senior Specialist of Art and Museum Curator at APSA. In fact, I was wondering how big, I should have asked Doctor, I just remembered now. These banks have a massive collection of art.
Yes, they do.
I mean, you go to Investec, Standard Bank, they really make a concerted effort to invest in art. And I wonder if he would tell us the value. He probably wouldn't. Because, probably wouldn't.
Probably not. Probably
I'm always so
not.
interested to find out these big corps, how much they have invested in their artworks. But,
Well, this means that, our phenomenal
it just
producer
is never ending. What is
just
it now?
stepped into studio.
Nompumelelo?
What is happening?
We need to finish off the tiebreaker,
Oh
guys.
my goodness!
So I'm only going to play 2 sounds, right?
Oh, it's a music thing.
It's a music thing, right? So I need your headphones on. I need everybody to listen through. We are going to start off with finishing off the lyrics. All right. Our favorite one by Nompumelelo from last week.
Because then you guys, all right, let's hear it.
Okay,
All right.
let's hear it.
I want to show you my world. Give me one break, I need
Nompumelelo. Faith to receive you. Give me something I'm not.
You were coming along and you take the number, but you got it.
everything.
You got it.
Only me.
Look at Tebogo. He's like,
Only
no.
me and you.
So Mpumi has this one.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Next.
So the next one, name this song. It's only 5 seconds of the song.
Nompumelelo.
Yes.
Srpa.
You are correct.
Yeah. Who is the winner of
Oh
the
my goodness me!
Give it up for the underdog. Boo, boo, boo.
So this is our wrap-off of our Africa Magic
That's
Quiz.
fine. That's fine.
And the loser, unfortunately, is getting punished with eating some very special sweets. And we will check it out next week when he comes back.
Nompumelelo, spell brpa.
Spoken like a real bitter loser. Are you going to congratulate?
Congratulations to you. No. I'm a good sport. Congratulations to you. You are indeed our African of the month. All right. Let's wrap up the show because it's tummy time soon.
It is tummy time.
Thank you so much for hanging out with
serious
us.
financial issues coming up.
Very serious, yeah. From us at the Auckland Park Studios in Johannesburg, South Africa, to our lovely producer.
Thank you so much for putting in all the hard work.
Tango.
In that quiz.
She did a phenomenal job. Yeah. And to you, madame, thank you very much for your time.
You.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can't wait for the jelly tots, jelly beans next
The
week.
winner gets nothing. Well, I feel like the
No,
loser needs to get
bragging
the winner
rights.
something. Oh.
Bragging rights. It's 4 p.m. Central African time. Let's get your news with Onel.
Cheers, everybody.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Tebogo. Looking at your top stories, there are reports of soldiers killed when fighters attacked a military camp in northern Mozambique, and Sudan cholera outbreak kills 70 people in 2 days. Your latest news, greetings to our listeners. There are reports that 10 soldiers have been killed when fighters attacked a military camp in northern Mozambique, The attack was claimed by the Islamic State. A recent increase in militant violence comes as the French energy company Total is trying to resume its operations at a $20 billion gas project. Health officials in Sudan say a cholera outbreak in the capital Khartoum has killed 70 people in 2 days. A surge in infections comes after the paramilitary rapid support forces carried out drone strikes which cut off water and electricity supplies across much of the city. Cholera outbreaks have become worse and more frequent since the war began over 2 years ago. Senegal has initiated a symbolic national dialogue which has brought together nearly 800 participants from various horizons in a climate marked by persistent political tension. This framework of consultation under the leadership of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye aims to explore options to set up the democratic foundations of the country, emphasizing reconciliation and national unity. Senegalese reporter Amadou Kamara Gueye explains.
And many questions will be raised about how to reform the political system in Senegal, political parties, electoral vote, and also how to imply